after having such an incredible career on the opera stage, you moved to start teaching. Can you talk about the decision to do that?
We moved from New York City. We had spent many years there, 14 years, and my mother needed me out here. Dad had passed on, and so it was really time to come home, I felt. And the business of the singing was just so intense, but I didn't love it as much as I once did. And I began a little teaching in New York City, and I think each of those early students got about 2 hours per session because I was learning how to communicate, and the vocabulary. That's the element is teaching, is that I think we're all after the same thing, but it's the vocabulary. And then my mother needed me out here. Marty was ready to go back. We were just going to go for 5 years, but stayed for 14 because of the development of both of our careers. So then I came back, and a very nice lady named Nina Henson, I think she's your teacher, knew that I was back in Los Angeles and recommended a student to me. And this young lady came from Canada and had a very small range, about 5 notes. And so I helped her. We were still living at Mom's because this home had not been built yet. It had not been completed. So I'd go next door to Auntie's house on an upright piano and teach this young lady who was in an opera workshop down at Cal State Long Beach. And within 2 months, this girl had improved so that this gentleman contacted me, the late Michael Carson. He's gone now. And he said, would you be interested in teaching at our university? And so I said, I would. I would love to do that. And so I don't have a master's degree, but it's the performing background that qualifies some of us to teach because they feel that we've had the experience to help a career track singer. And then after about 9 years there, I was invited, another invitation to teach at USC. A very fine teacher was leaving Los Angeles at the time, and there was this opening, and I was approached by Professor Gary Glaze would I like to teach at USC. And I think it's because my students were becoming more visible and placing very well or winning competitions or being involved in NATS, where I am a member. And it's really like building a little house. It's the same thing. And you have to hold your integrity. Marty always says, keep your skirts clean. Because I guess they asked around about me, and the report was okay. And in our business as a singer or a teacher or whatever, you've got to have a good name. And you have to treat people with respect. And, well, that's what I've always been told. So I think that's what I did. Sorry, getting verklempt about this, because I don't think I'm that much more qualified than another, but I love what I do with a passion. And
that passion shows through. You now maintain 3 studios. In essence, you have Cal State Long Beach, the University of Southern California, and your own private studio.
That's right.
And in all of those 3 studios, you, from what I know about you, support your students on a level that goes really above and beyond what an average voice teacher does. How do you manage to maintain that kind of passion for each student's development when you have so many?
Well, I respect each and every one of them. They have their individual gifts. One thing I had to let go of was the Classical Singers Association. But in terms of, to support everyone, they are all unique. I often at studio classes call them a bouquet of flowers. They're different flowers. There's sometimes a little leaf inside the bouquet. Yeah. But they all are organic and they're alive, and they reach to go someplace, the sun, or to get the nourishment they need. And I feel a great responsibility or a desire to help them uncover and peel their onion, their skin back, so that we can get to a greater truth. Because to have a career, not all singers are career track singers. They might end up running an opera company. They might end up doing something that serves even more humanity. And so to get to their truth, their originality, their authenticity, and each journey is truly different, because the way they see themselves in the universe is unique. And so it is really, it's very stimulating and very rewarding and I consider it a privilege, basically.
And you mentioned the Classical Singers Association, which is a wonderful organization that you ran for so many years. Can you talk a little bit about that and the idea behind it?
All right. I was invited, actually, by probably Nina, invited me on the board of directors of the Opera Guild. It was an old, venerable organization at the time. And then they asked me, what can we do to bring new members into the organization? And I said, well, I think that's possible if you give them something. Something has got to be given to these people in order for them to be attracted to our organization. So I formed something called the Junior Guild, membership of younger people, and that's when I came up with the idea of some kind of an event per month, featuring a distinguished professional in the world of music. And the first guest was Henry Holt. He's now gone, but a conductor I had worked with in I think in Seattle, Portland. And then after that, used my imagination. Marty was very, very helpful in this. It was his idea to put up a competition. Through that competition, Karen Ashley, Josh Winograde were judges for that, Dr. Alan Smith, my dear friend at Thornton, and it was just like a balloon experience. And so it was a distinguished professional in the world of music every month. Conductors, Maestro Kent Nagano, Julius Rudel, and singers, Delora, Miss Horn, Barbara Hendricks, Sandra Radvanovsky. And so the kids would learn about the varying degrees, how to learn music properly, diction. It's just a lot of work. And as I was traveling to teach in the summers away in Italy, I just couldn't do all of this. And then get ready for school again, all of the repertoire.
Frankly, I don't know how you did it in the first place. Everything you just mentioned sounds like a full-time job in and of itself.
It is, but I have a husband who is an incredible supporter of all of my visions in life. One of my former students once said that when you get married, you and your husband have to treat your voice like a child. I never forgot that. That was Dan Ebers, former student of mine, and he said that, and I never forgot it. It's really true. There has to be two people going towards the energy of the vision. And maybe that's why we didn't have children. It's just too much. Even Bella, the dog, an adoption. So without him, I don't think this could all have been possible. I've been very grateful.
Now, going back a little bit to your teaching, the world today for singers is a different world from the world that your career rose in. What would you say are some of the biggest challenges that singers face today, and what would you recommend they do to overcome them?
First of all, you have to have a burning desire to want to do this. I think you have to find the right guide. No, don't just go to a school, but find a teacher. This is for people after they know they want to do this. That first school, like for Delora, in the middle of a desert, was just providential. But remember that there are about 1,800 universities, and if each school graduates a potential career track singer, there are not that many jobs. You have to be very creative. You have to be able to make the doors and build the doors that are not opening, your own doors. Have to have the desire to get better, the desire to work hard on every aspect. When Maestro Nagano talks about hiring a singer, he mentioned intonation, diction, and style. See, at that level, they're not worried about technique or quality of tone. We're way beyond that. And so you have to be able to be curious. You have to go to things. Well, today, you don't have to even pay $1. All you have to do is get on the internet and look at the amazing amalgam of professional work that's there and get inspired by it. Learn yourself through all of these truths. And then be around music. Be with colleagues that are similar to what your desire is. Don't see them as some kind of a competition. That we're all in this thing together and we move ahead. The advice I would say is don't see any walls for this. You keep doing this for as long as you want, and don't let anybody tell you can't sing. Watch out for taking too much advice. People who change teachers too often sound to me like a patchwork quilt. So they have to stay in that steady groove. If you're improving, stay there. Why would you move? Keep getting better, and if you begin your career, let's say in a smaller region, like I don't want to say LA is smaller, it's a big region. But why would somebody who's going to school here and they're getting better move to New York?
Mm-hmm.
That's a big market. I didn't go to New York until I had somebody who wanted to manage me.
Mm-hmm.
And I never actually, went after that. Today, well, if you have a high profile moment, people could hear about you. But that's for the very gifted. But there are many below that don't emerge that quickly. They have to work harder and their voices don't develop that quickly. So they have to do it with such fire and gusto and a little bit of just learn your character through this whole thing. Learn who you are.
Well, thank you so much for all the wonderful work that you do. I hope you'll continue to do it for many, many years.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed speaking with you.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you.